Hi everyone, this is Dion Slow Cole, and this is my review video for our week 4 project. I decided to do mine on, I'm a big cartoon fan, and want to do mine on one of the cartoons that I kind of watch regularly with my son, is The Regular Show. And it's a pretty cool cartoon. But being a fan of it, I think that would be kind of something cool to do. So what I decided to do was going into tackling this project and looking at everything. I know we had to create views that would lead over to our separate pages that were for interaction. What I decided to do is create image views for each one. As you can see here, I have an image view of the park background, a image view with the show background, and a image view that I call Rigby background, which is this one right here. And I did some styling for each one where we had text. You know, for the second one it says, well, for the last one it says, which regular show regular are you? Right here, and also there would be some more styling with the regular show regulars and the font in that, and also with the fan favorites. You see, one of the things I found, which in our documentation, was view shadow color as a property, and kind of played around with that to kind of give it a little more effect to pop out on there. And then leading into it, you know, requiring all those pages, well, my pages for my favorites page, my regulars page, and my who are you page, and making it add it to the window, and also making it a nav window to open everything up. Now leading into our fan favorites page, you know, we had to create something that would cycle through all of our pictures that we have, and for a gallery. One of the things that I did with mine is I created a fan gallery and used our get file method to get the system to go into our resources directory to grab the fan gallery, and then also created an array with fan pics that would get the direct listings, which are right here, of all of what's inside of that folder. And that was our array that we used. As you can see, when I open up the fan favorites, it will take us to where we can see more button that I called it. And you can click here to see more fan favorites. And one of the things they had to realize was that we wanted to get that random picture coming up every time we clicked on a button to see more pictures. And one of the problems that I was having with that was that inside of here, the array, it was saying that I was not a variable. And kept playing around with it and figured out that if I made math.floor, which would bring the random number down to a actual integer, and I wanted to go no more than 9, it would exclude the number 9, and that would set that equal to our variable. It will pull out which picture in our array from our fan gallery. So as you can see, when I click here and go down our console, it pulls out the 4th picture, Guys Night Out, the 5th picture, House Party, and stays on the 5th picture, the 8th picture, which is Muscle Man Prank, the 2nd picture, which is fan art, and so on, and randomly pulling out numbers to match up to there. Now going back into it, you see, one of the things we had to add our event listener to that seat pick function, so that just to make it work and give some functionality to everything that we were trying to do here. Now in our third JS folder, which is the regulars one, we still had an array that we created, our JSON array, and we have our window that opens up once we click on it to open everything up. And you'll see how we had some styling and everything going on with our header, which is who's on the show, and our footer, which is the funniest group to run a city park. And you'll see our table view with the names of that we ran through all of our array up here, and how we added each one in here, where you can see the description view, and creating our for loop to run through all of our arrays. Well, and then see our title would be the name of our character, the description of who they are. I had an image. I put an image property in there, or image key, and something to register their personality is what I created inside the array, which you can see up here, what I call a PSON, which is kind of personality rating, which we will get you. I'll show you. So every time we go in, you will see each one with the personality text. You'll see that personality capability, and it'll roll through. So we click on Mordecai. Now you see where the image pops up, and did some styling on the background of the image with the view shadow, and also we can see where the description comes up and personality compatibility pops in, and it's rating of, you know, if it's full or not. And if we go back, same thing with Pops. Read about him with Rigby, Muscle Man, oops, High Five Ghost, Minton, and the same thing. So it's running through our array and what we've created and putting it into each one where we have our source data right here on our table, where we can do a propagation. So we're not having event listeners listening to each one of these. We have an event propagation going on. So just listening for the one click, and it's pulling out and going to our row and putting our row information exactly where we want it to be for each character when they come up. The description, our bio source, I call it bio source, description comes up. And the image, bio source image, would pop in there. Since being that we're calling it the biography of them, I call it bio source and pop it in each one of these. So that way we get the look that we want it to have. Now for the last JS file, which is the which regular show regular are you, I called it who are you. And we had to be creative in finding out what we wanted to do and how we wanted to make it. What I decided to do was use slider buttons and get you all to figure out, you know, which character you may want to be based on the character's personality and what they liked and everything. As you can see, I put a view for each section that I wanted to have. I put a text in there, did some styling with the text. And then there's a slider that goes with a minimum of 0, maximum of 10. A value starts out at being 10, but which can change as the user moves the slider back and forth. And a label which will pretty much represent the value of the slider. And I did that for each one. I did as you can see, I did one that would be how brave you are, how strong are you, how funny are you, how shy are you, how cool are you, how athletic are you, and also you can click to see. So we can move these values around, and it changes as the user puts it in. And I'm just arbitrarily just moving some things around. And if we wanted to click and see, here's who we represent, who we would be if we move these values around. I console logged out the value down here, and as you can see, the way I got to making it pop up each one of these values as I go down, you know, see we adding everything to it. I created a variable, well, a function, to where once we clicked on it, the see who button, the see character, a function of the see character, which would move over to a character window with the background color and the title of here's what regular you are, and created a view and an image view. And now the one thing I had to realize is that if I want this to pull out of and put an image in here, I had to make a space with quotation marks, and I set up if statements to where if the user stats, which was a addition of all the values of each one of the sliders, and I made that a variable. If the user stats, which is equal to all of these, is less than or equal to 17, you do character view.image, which is here. is going to equal to the picture that we want it to be. And the same thing, if the user stat is less than or equal to, and it is, well, greater than or equal to 18, and it's less than or equal to 30, we're going to pull out and put this picture in the user view image. And did the same thing for the different values, which will slide over and pull up our character. So if we were to go back and change our values a little bit and click and see, we come up with a different character, which is Pop. So you can see now it's 37, whereas if it's greater than 37 and less than 50, it will pull up Pops. And we can do this and see what pops up. 23 will be Muscle Man, where it's greater than 18, less than 30, if it's there. So I know this video is kind of long, but there's a lot that went into it, and there's a lot of moral victories that came along with trying to figure out how to get everything to work in conjunction with each other and making it look very aesthetic with it all. But overall, I think this class was great. We learned a lot. And for us to move forward and have these moral victories is great on everyone's part. And look forward to seeing everyone later on.